Chairman, Murtuza sir, Chairman sir, for your opening remarks.
Thank you, Gautam. A very warm good evening to all the participants, and really heartening to see more than 200 registration for this series. And congratulations to all who have joined here today. Let me first congratulate the chairman of the GST committee, CA Yashwant Kasar, and vice chairman of the indirect tax GST committee, Gautam Blad, for thinking about and organizing such unique programs. The sectorial series, I think it is happening for the first time, and we're going to cover 15 industries. And in this first series, we are doing, starting with tourism and travel industry today with Manish Gadia as the speaker. Welcome, Manish Bhai. Thank you very much for joining us and sparing your valuable time with the participants. Welcome, Manish Bhai. There are so many other industries also. We got one section on retail FMCG, one on real estate in this series, but we're trying to cover the 15 industries in 3 series. Friends, the goal this year at the theme was LEAP, and the goal was like there were 5 goals and there were many transactions which we listed. But the 2 important things were like how do we ensure that we equip our members technically, and that is where we thought like let us do programs on various subjects. And one is the subject here where we have done like how do you expertise in particular industry, because this is a time where everyone is asking what value are you adding to your client, and that is where we are. If we become specialized, if we know the real nuances of the industry, if you know the real problems which you are facing, we'll be able to add value to the clients. And so that is where it is. In addition to so many different type of things which are happening, but only one thing which I would like to touch upon now is the regional conference of WIRC. This is the largest event, and we'll have more than 1,000 participants physically attending it. 850 registrations already done as of yesterday. This is on 3rd and 4th at Bantara Bhavan Hall at Baner in Pune. And really, the theme of the conference itself is Future Ready Chartered Accountant. And we got a session on like offshore opportunities, a session of future of chartered accountants, where we are going to talk about RPA, data analytics, and etc., and the newer opportunities. Then one session on the capital markets and one on expectation of stakeholders from chartered accountants. So really looking forward to meet all of you in Pune on 3rd. Please do register. Excellent faculties. I'm sure you would have seen the brochure. Otherwise, we can circulate again. So with that, happy learning to everyone. Thank you very much, and over to you, Gautam. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman sir, for your kind words and sharing your thoughts with us. Now I would like to invite Shweta Jain, Secretary WIRC, for share her thoughts. Shweta ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Gautam. And at the outset, of course, let me congratulate to Yashwant sir and Gautam, both of you, for this innovative series. Friends, we have this year a very young and dynamic team, just like Gautam, and action-oriented and energetic Chairman Murtuza Kachwala sir. And with his vision, this year we have designed our theme as a lead. That is a leap towards excellence, achievement, and development. This is nothing but a combination of our 5 goals, which we have set out for ourselves. So first I can say we are trying to how we can equip our chartered accountant to technically equip to make them aware and how they can equip themselves technically. The second is we are trying how they can perform their work efficiently and effective manner. For that, we are trying to do some tie-ups with some IT tools, something kind of, so our chartered accountant can perform their work easily. So the third, of course, we will try to become a bridge between various sections of our membership. Say example, industry and practicing chartered accountant. So how we can connect both of them together so in a synergy can be generated. So the fourth, how we can make our CA course more effective, more attractive. And the last is overall improvement of our chartered accountant image. So we are trying at our level best. And of course, your participation and support is required So we all are there to support you. At the same time, we require your support also. So thank you so much. With this, I hand over to Gautam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So now, I can see the excitement for this series as we already having 5 to 6 queries in chat box. So Manish, sir, I think there is a lot for you today and the participants would like to learn from you. Quickly with this thing, I would like to move to Yashwant sir, Yashwant Kasar sir, Chairman of Indirect Tax Committee, for his views and for the introduction of faculty. Yashwant sir, over to you.
Good evening, all. Dear friends, it's indeed my pleasure to interact with you in today's program. Friends, our chairman, sir, Gautam, Shweta ma'am has elaborated about the WRC activities. Regarding the GST committee, it is one of the vibrant committee of the WRC. And we keep on organizing various programs for the on the GST topics for the knowledge upgradation of our members. But apart from that, this year we are also focusing on effective listening of with the department officials and handholding, which WRC has already doing, but we are taking more proactive steps in that regard. So this year, when in Maharashtra state, when the amnesty scheme came, we take proactive steps and organize various outreach program on that amnesty scheme. We also published a book on the amnesty scheme with the hands of the Chief Commissioner of the Maharashtra GST. And that was a very good initiative of the handholding with the GST department. Apart from that, GST officials or the department, they also requested the WRC to provide resource person for the department official training. So that is also one thing we are doing at the WRC. Another thing, the second limb of connecting with the stakeholder is connecting with the industry people. So many industries are there, and when it comes to GST, their issues are peculiar. So because of that, we have organized this sectoral series where we will be covering 15 sectors and the GST issues related to those sectors. And from tomorrow, we will be coming up with the litigation series. In that also, from basic do's and don'ts while representing with the department authorities, then legal drafting, then section 73 versus 74, then AR, etc. All the topics we will be covering in that litigation series. So my request to all of you to do participate in all these programs for your knowledge upgradation. So apart from that, one thing that I should mention with the vibrant vice chairman at the GST committee, we are planning to launch some GST tools for our members for use in your offices, like reconciliation tools and all. So very soon we will be launching those tools one by one. So it will be useful for members to use those tools in their offices. So friends, without taking much time, yes, questions are already started flowing in the chat box. So to start with this today's sectoral series, we have the very eminent personality today, who is always a guide to all of us at WRC when it comes to GST matters, who is also the immediate past chairman of the WRC, our CA Manish Gadia ji. I will just briefly introduce him to all of you. He is a chartered accountant in practice since 1997. He is partner in Messrs. GMJ and Company Chartered Accountants, and he is mainly practicing in GST, indirect taxation. He has co-authored the book called Statutory Obligation of Cooperative Housing Society, published by WRC of ICR. He has also co-authored books on valuation, then book on EPC contract, which is published by CTC. He was regular contributor to WRC Referencer and also the GST Referencer published by GSTPM. He has till now conducted more than 550 lectures on indirect taxation topics. Yes, as the chairman of the WRC, before that also, he has been headed various committees of the WRC, and he has part of various important committees as member and co-opted member as well. He is regularly writing in various newspapers like Nav Bharat Times and other newspapers. He is a regular contributor to articles to various professional journals and faculty at various forums. And he is also a founder, convener, and core group member of JB Nagar Study Circle of WRC. So with this brief introduction of our very own C. Manish Gadia sir, I request him to proceed with his session and guide our participants today. So over to you, Manish sir.
Thank you, Yashwant Bhai, for your kind words. And I'm really very happy, I should say, that after a period of 6.5 years or so, first time I'm speaking at platform of WIRC on a technical topic. So thank you very much, Murtuza Kachwala, Chairman WIRC, for giving me this opportunity to speak first time on the topic of GST at the WIRC platform. So really thank you. And I have an opportunity to work with Murtuza since last 3 years with Murtuza, Yashwant both. And they are really action oriented and very well designed. I have seen the structure of regional conference. It's really a fantastic piece, fantastic structuring. So I recommend all the members to attend this program, get the opportunity to network with each and every member. Maybe more than 1,000 members will be there in that program. I don't know the numbers, but maybe more than 1,000. It will be an opportunity after a gap of, you can say, 2 years, you will get so many chartered accountants at one platform. So thank you. And I'm going to cover GST on hospitality and tourism industry, and various queries has already started coming in. So my humble request to all the participants that you should post your queries only in the question answer section, not in the chat box, because it may be possible that whatever question you are posting in a chat box, I may missed out at the end. So what I will do is I will cover the presentation, what I have prepared based on my experience with the industry, and then we'll take up a question answer. And during my session also, I will keep on asking various questions to you. And for that questions, you can write your answer in a chat box. That is what my humble request is. So good evening to all of you, first of all. And as we all know that hospitality and tourism industry has seen the worst phase in last so many years, in last 2 years because of the pandemic. These are the most sufferer. And now the pickup has been done at this, and very good this industry is doing. Before starting, the most important part is that we should know that what is GST. It is a destination-based tax on consumption of goods and services. Or nutshell, you can say it is a transaction-based tax. So whenever any client comes to you, so what I have generally seen that what we do, we start reading the law and then start giving answer to them. But what my experience is, before going to the book, before going to the law, what you should do is you should understand the industry, understand the transaction, because this is a transaction-based tax. So you should first understand the transaction, and then you should go to the refer to the relevant section, rules, etc. Then only you will be able to guide to your client in the best way. So understand the transaction. That is most important part. So now I will start with impact of GST on hotel and cruise. I am taking this both. The reason being is this place of supply for hotel and cruise are same, and most of the issues relevant to this two are also interrelated. That's why I'm taking these two industry at the start of this session together. So starting with the place of supply, if the location of the supplier and a recipient both are in India. So of course, in our case, the location of the supplier means the hotel or maybe the cruise line who is supplying the service, and the recipient who is in India. Then any services directly related to accommodation by a hotel, including houseboat, vessel, and accommodation in any immovable property for any marriage or function etc., including services provided irrespective to the such function at such property and any related ancillary services. So it's not only restricting it to the only hotel accommodation or maybe the cruise, or whenever I'm saying cruise, it include boat, vessel, or maybe Sikara, what you are seeing at Kashmir, Srinagar, or maybe the houseboat, whenever you are going to Kerala, that you are seeing. This all are included in this. And it's not restricting itself to hotel accommodation. It also includes any accommodation services in any immovable property for any marriage or any function, etc. Then the place of supply, if the location of immovable property or boat is in India, then the location of immovable property or boat or vessel or their intended location will be the place of supply. So it means if the hotel is in Delhi, the recipient of service is in Mumbai, place of supply shall be the location of hotel that is in Delhi. It may be possible that if the property is situated outside India and the supplier of service, location of supplier and location of recipient, both are in India, then what will be the place of supply? In that scenario, regular law says that it should be the location of the recipient of service. So the hotel may be situated outside India, but if location of the supplier is in India, then it will be taxable in India. That is what in nutshell the law says. Now moving to place of supply for cruise. Whenever I'm saying cruise or boat or vessel, it means where the accommodation service is also included in that. If you are not residing in that hotel or that boat or vessel, then this will not be covered here. So if Indian Cruise Line supplying service to Indian passenger, then the place of supply shall be the location of the cruise, where the cruise are situated. So if you go to Srinagar, you will go to Sikara. Sikara is situated in Srinagar, then the place of supply shall be Srinagar. If you go to houseboat in Kerala, then the place of supply shall be Kerala, because the houseboat is situated in Kerala and the supplier is in India, is located in India, and the recipient is also located in India. But if that cruise line is supplying service to the foreign passenger, then the place of supply shall be the location of performance of service. So where the service is actually performed. So the two example what I have taken, the service is actually performed in case of Srinagar is in Srinagar, and in case of Kerala, it will be in Kerala. So effectively, it will be in India in both the scenario. If supplier of service is foreign cruise line, supplying service to Indian passenger. So the Indian passenger is going to Singapore, and there he is availing the service of Singapore cruise or maybe Star Cruise or any other cruise. Then the place of supply shall be the location of performance of service. Performance of services in Singapore or maybe in Malaysia, then the place of supply shall be Malaysia, and it will not be taxable in India. Foreign cruise line supplying services to a foreign passenger, then this transaction is not taxable at all. The place of supply is very important that we should understand. Then place of supply already we have discussed, but now again we have seen that there is a Cordelia cruise which is operating from Bombay, and it's going to Bombay, Goa, or sometime it's going to Bombay, Goa, Cochin, Lakshadweep, which are the 3 different states and 1 union territory in case of Lakshadweep, what we are seeing. Then how you will determine the place of supply? Again, it will be a difficult task, because the place of supply says that where the property has been situated, where the cruise has been situated. But if you see the cruise is moving, it's not fixed. In case of houseboat in Kerala, it is situated only in Kerala. In case of Shikara, it is situated only in Kashmir. So there you have a fixed place, but in case of cruise, which is moving, you don't have any fixed place. So how to determine the place of supply in that scenario? So then it says that shall be the location of actual performance of the service in case service provided to an individual who is recipient of service. So basically what it says that if it is in 3 different states, then he has to pay the GST in 3 different states. And suppose if that cruise is moving from Bombay to Colombo and then it's going to Maldives. So maybe 12% of the service has been performed in Maharashtra, or maybe 13% in Sri Lanka and 75% in Maldives. If you see majority of the services or majority of the performance has been done by the cruise line outside India, then also entirely it will be taxable in India and the place of supply shall be Maharashtra. But if it is moving from Maharashtra to Goa and then going to Colombo and then Maldives, then it will be taxable in 2 states, that is Maharashtra as well as Goa. And then you have to pay GST accordingly. Now, what will be the tax rate as far as the hotel accommodation is concerned? So till 30th September 2019, there was a different tax rate, and with effect from 1st October 2019, it has been changed, or it has been, you can say, reduced. So it is given in the chat. So if it is up to rupees 1,000, it is up to 1,000, then no tax is payable. 1,000, once I am saying that it is the transaction value, and 1,000 per room per night. So if it is single occupancy and he is charging 1,000 rupees for the same room, then GST is not applicable. But if it is double occupancy, same room, he is charging 1,200. Then if it is between 1,001 to 7,500, then GST rate shall be 12%. So same room, some part of the year may not be leviable to tax, some part of the year may be leviable to tax. It's depend on the transaction. So up 1,001 to 7,499, tax rate is 12%. 7,500 and above, it is 18. 7,500 and 7,501 and above, it will be 18%. So these are the now 3 different rates. One is nil, 12% and 18% as far as the hotels are concerned. Previously, till 30th September 2019, the rate was defined on the declared tariff, but now it is on the transaction value. So if you go to hotel in Goa, during the month of October to March, they have a different tariff, and April to September, they have a different tariff. And many times they are selling a room much below a tariff rate at a discounted price. In case of what we have seen in case of lockdown also, we were getting a 5-star hotel room maybe at 4,000, 4,500 or 5,000. Otherwise, it is not possible in Bombay. So declared tariff may be higher, but the transaction value may be lower. So if declared tariff may be 9,000, maybe 10,000, but if hotel is selling at 7,000 or maybe at 7,500, tax rate will be 12%. Now, what will be the rate of tax for cruise? Because no different rate has been given as far as the cruise are concerned. But what cruise are doing? It's providing 3 different services. One is accommodation. If you are taking 2 nights, 3 days, if you are taking 4-night cruise, then you are staying in the cruise itself. So it's providing a hotel accommodation service. Another is transportation, going from Bombay to Goa, going from Bombay to Kochi, or maybe from Chennai to Visakhapatnam. Then it's providing a transportation service also. Or it will provide other services also. If you see the cruise, there are various kind of services are there on the cruise. So what rate of tax shall be applicable on the cruise? Again, it's a big question. So I request all the participants, you can share your views that GST rate of hotel accommodation will apply as far as cruise are concerned, or transportation will apply. And again, if you go to transportation, so what rate will apply? So I will move further once I will receive the reply in the chat box. And I always prefer to have an interactive session instead of one way. Participants are there or they have logged in and run away? Transportation service, naturally bundle, hotel rate, composite. Of course, it is a composite supply of hotel accommodation as well as transportation. There is no doubt about that. Transportation service is the principal supply, what Sachin Jain is saying. Hiralal is saying that hotel accommodation rate as it is the main part of service. So many said transportation, most of you have said transportation, few of you have said the higher rate also. So once you go to the composite supply, well, first you have to see whether it is a composite supply or it is a mixed supply. The higher rate will apply. Vinitji, you have said that product with higher rate, but higher rate will apply in case of mixed supply. And in my view, it is not a mixed supply. It is a composite supply because the customer is interested not only in accommodation, may not be only interested in transportation, he is interested in both. So it is naturally bundled. And Gitesh Bajaj has rightly said it is a composite supply and naturally bundled. But in case of naturally bundled or in case of composite supply, then we have to find out which is the principal supply. Again, there may be a different views possible. Of course, no doubt about that. But in my view, I'm just giving my view, which the principal supply here will be the hotel accommodation service. And accordingly, the GST shall be applicable. Because it's not saying hotel accommodation. If you go to the place of supply also, and it always says the accommodation service. For convenience purpose, we are saying hotel accommodation. And it also covers not only the accommodation service of hotel, it's also covers the accommodation service provided by the guest house also, accommodation service provided by the hostel also, which are not hotel. So my personal view is that the principal supply in this scenario shall be hotel accommodation. And accordingly, because once you say transportation, then the place of supply, again, you will have an issue. Because the place of supply, again, it's specifically cover cruise along with the accommodation. So the intention of the law is that it is the principal supply in this kind of cases, accommodation and not the transportation. And again, if you go to Sikara, if you go to the houseboat in Kerala, where they are not in Sikara, so actually it is not moving at all. So there is no transportation service at all. They are only the accommodation service. And in Kerala also, it's moving within the very limited space. So again, the people are interested in accommodation service. So that's why I'm holding the view of accommodation service. So accordingly, the rate shall be applicable. And accordingly, the place of supply shall also be applicable because the place of supply specifically covers the accommodation in cruise, houseboat and vessel. Now we have seen the tour hotel accommodation as well as we have seen the cruise. But again, we are not directly doing the booking. We may be doing a booking through an agent. So what will be the taxability of that agent? Because that agent is also, because the topic given to me is not only the hospitality, it is also covered the tourism. So tourism part will also be covered. So I'm taking simultaneously. So again, the agent may work only on commission, and he may be getting commission from the cruise liner, and the cruise liner may be issuing the invoice in the name of the customer itself. So in that scenario, supplier invoice shall be in the name of customer, and commission invoice he will raise on the cruise liner, and cruise liner will give the commission, and it will be taxable at the rate of 18%, and the place of supply shall be the recipient of service, that is the cruise line. It may operate as a tour operator. So he may purchase a cabin at X price and selling at X plus something and keeping some margin. So again, two possibility, 18% on the markup he may charge. He will say, okay, I purchase at X price and my margin is 1,000 rupees. On a 1,000 rupees service fees he is charging to the customer. Then he can charge GST at the rate of 18%. Another possibility is there will be, he is purchasing at 10,000 rupees and selling at 12,000 rupees. Then it will be covered in package tour, because package tour says that accommodation and transportation, these two services should be included under any circumstances. As far as this cruise line is concerned, these two services are covered. But once you go to Shikara in Kashmir, which is not moving at all. Shikara means houseboat. Basically, Shikara is moving where you are not staying, but the houseboat, what is there in Kashmir, which is not moving at all. So there is no transportation services provided, then 5% is not applicable. Otherwise, in case of Kerala, in case of other cruise line, it may be covered under 5% on the total value what he's charging. Another option is, in my view, if cruise line tour operator want to take the credit of ITC what has been charged by the cruise liner, he may charge 18% with ITC, because that 5% cannot be binding on me, because it is with the condition, and it says that once you are going for 5%, then no ITC is allowed. And if I'm missing that, then I will fall in general category, and general category says that 18%, there is no condition, then I can take the credit. So in my view, it is up to the tour operator in which category, in which tax rate he want to pay the tax. Then we have seen that various hotels are outside the SEZ, and various companies who are situated in SEZ are staying their customer or maybe their supplier in that hotel, and they are making the payment. So whether what will be the place of supply in that scenario? To take an example, there is a jewelry company situated in SIPS, which is in Mumbai, and there is a hotel which is situated in MIDC next to SIPS, where his customer is situated is there. So what will be the place of supply? So you can write in a chat box. Santosh ji has said hotel. Vinit Shah, hotel. Pareshji, of course, the place of supply shall be Maharashtra, because SIPS is also situated in Maharashtra and hotel is also situated in Maharashtra. But here the question is, once we are saying that whether it is CGST, SGST or IGST will be applied, whether it is IGST transaction or CGST, SGST, it will make a difference for us. So Gitesh Bajaj has said that this will be CGST, SGST. Zayan has said that, and Abhishek Malpani has said, sorry, Zayan has said that SEZ only in this case. So only one person has said SEZ, rest all has said that it will be hotel location of hotel. Jainam Shah has said IGST transaction. So we will just analyze. We'll see this. So location of supplier. If you go to the definition of intra-state and interstate, which is also given, interstate has been given in section 7 of IGST Act, and interstate has been defined in section 8 of the IGST Act. Because only the place of supply will not help you in reading in isolation. Interstate and intrastate transaction is also very, very, very important. So if you go to section 5, section 7, 5B, which is very clear in this kind of scenario, the place of supply, this will be treated, any transaction with the SEZ will be treated as interstate supply only. And once you say it is interstate supply, then it will become a IGST supply, and IGST supply means the location of the SEZ, and location of SEZ, then hotel has to take LUT, and without charging any GST, hotel can issue the invoice. Without LUT, they can't issue, but they can treat this as IGST transaction, charge GST, and then claim refund of ITC. That again, the possibility is there. So again, this will remain interstate transaction, even though the place of supply is the location of hotel, but this is an interstate transaction, GST is not applicable. So very important not to read any provision in isolation, read the entire law to understand the law. So the first question what I have received was about the laundry services and etc. So I will cover in this, whether it is a composite supply, mixed supply like food, gym, because they are providing, sometime if you go to the hotel, they are giving American plan, continental plan, sometime only bed and breakfast, sometime all meal are inclusive, sometime breakfast and dinner is also included, gym services, swimming pool that are included in the this. So whether this will be treated as mixed supply, composite supply, or this will be treated as separate supply altogether. So what is your view? So gym is always complementary, and gym is always taxable at the rate of 18%. And if I'm selling a hotel room at rupees 7,000 or maybe at 7,500, the tax rate will be 12%. Food again may be taxable at 5% or maybe taxable at 18%. So whether it will be a composite supply or mixed supply. So most of you are saying that it is a composite supply. So to be a composite supply, always we are saying that there is a single pricing, then only it will become a composite supply. So once hotel is saying that breakfast and dinner also included in the hotel accommodation, and the pricing is 7,000, taxable at 12%, all the things, even though the food may be taxable at 5%, food also will be taxable at 12% because no separate pricing is there. Gym is complementary, swimming pool is complementary. Otherwise, separately, if it is being charged, it will be taxable at 18%. But since it is a composite supply, naturally bundled, all services to be consumed together, GST will be taxable, leviable at the rate at which the hotel accommodation rate are leviable. But as far as the laundry is concerned, what should be done? Laundry generally is taxable at the rate of 18%. So in my view, as far as laundry is concerned, it is a separate supply, absolutely right, Vinit. What you have written is it's a separate supply altogether, and laundry will be taxable at the rate of 18%, whatever they are charging. So it will not be out of pocket expenses in my view, Dalal Sahab, because it is a separate charges. and they may be charging something different. They may be paying to their vendor, or they may doing this services, maybe providing in-house also, and maybe giving 10 rupees to the laundry guy and maybe charging 50 rupees to the customer. So you can't say it is out of pocket or whatever. So in my view, it is a separate supply as far as laundry is concerned and chargeable taxable at 18%. Food and gym, I am clear. I hope I have made it clear. Next is membership fees. So there are various hotels who are charging some membership fees to you in the year, and they are saying that, okay, you will get 3 room night, dinner, or maybe a buffet meal for so many packs, and for so many years you can use the spa also in that membership fees. So this kind of membership fees they are offering. So whether this kind of membership fees, where it will fall? So Vinit, you are saying 18%. I hope you are saying that it is a membership fees service what the hotel is supplying, not the accommodation service. Abhishek Malpani has written composite supply. Of course, Abhishek, this is a composite supply of food, accommodation, etc. But which is the principal service? That is what the question here is. Gitesh Bajaj said that accommodation service. Again, different views are possible on this, but I am giving what view I am holding. In my view, it will be a yes. Of course, Hitesh Thakkar, rightly you have said that principal supply is membership, what the view I am holding. But again, it may be a debatable, because I am not taking membership only for the purpose of accommodation, because I am getting a service of gym also, maybe getting a service of spa also, maybe getting a service of food also. So principal services, membership, and accordingly it cannot be bifurcatable. So GST at the rate of 18% shall be applicable on the membership fees, whatever has been received by the hotel. Next is, so whenever you are going to any hotel, so you have seen that front desk, beautiful ladies as well as smart or handsome boys are there on that desk. And they are need to go through the makeup also. So whatever makeup charges has been paid by the hotel for their staff for this purpose, whether credit of the same is available to the hotel or not. You can write your views, yes or no, in chat box. Dinesh Chaudhary ji is saying yes. So again, the house is divided. Someone, many are saying yes, many are saying no. Sachin Jain has said that block credit under section 17(5). Again, 17(5) makeup is a block credit, but it says that if it is forming part of your composite supply, or it may be within the same category of service, then that credit is available. So the view what I am holding is that makeup is very much necessary for the purpose of business, and it will fall part of composite supply. Again, how you are looking at it and how you are presenting your case depend on that. Both the views are possible, but the view what I am holding is that in this kind of scenario, the credit shall be available to the hotel. But again, different views are possible. Whenever you are booking a hotel, so they are all many times providing free pickup and drop from airport or maybe from railway station to that person. And for that, they are hiring a vehicle. So whether that hiring of vehicle taken from the third party, the hotel can take the credit. Because you said we seen here that section 17(5) says that food, beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic and plastic surgery, renting, hiring, leasing of motor vehicle, this all credit are covered under the block category. So Abhishek has only given that that pickup is part of business, so ITC is available under composite. Gitesh said allowed. Only two views. Yes, the credit will be allowed. The reason is, if you see here, just allowed only for outward supply of same category, so it is not fitting into same category, or as element of composite or mixed supply. So the free pickup and drop is forming part of composite supply of my hotel accommodation. So the credit of the same is available to me. There is no restriction, because it says that in case of composite supply, it is available. And again, in case of that makeup, what we discussed, here the restriction is beauty treatment. So there is a makeup and beauty treatment. There are many female participants are also there, because they can also share their views. In my personal view, that there is a difference between beauty treatment and beauty enhancement. So once you are going for makeup, it does not mean that you are going for some treatment. आप कोई बहुत आपका फेस डैमेज हो गया है, उसके ट्रीटमेंट के लिए नहीं जा रहे हो, but you are enhancing your beauty by doing a makeup. So there is no such restriction as far as beauty treatment is, makeup is concerned. So in my view, credit will be available of both. Then ITC for construction of hotel building and ITC on repair and renovation. Because many times we have seen that every 3 years, every 2 years, every 4 years, hotel undergo a major renovation of the rooms, their interior and all that has been changed. So whether ITC of construction of hotel building as well as ITC on repair or renovation will be available or not? What is the view? Yes or no, you can write. ITC is not available, not allowed. Hitesh Thakkar has said yes. Majority of you are saying not allowed. Many are saying that Dinesh Chaudhary ji, and many are saying that in case of repairs, it is allowed. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Okay. So we will go to the provision. (17)(5) C and D. It says that work contract services contract when supplied for construction of immovable property other than plant and machinery, except where the input service for further supply of work contract service, then this credit is not allowed. Further, it says the construction include reconstruction, renovation, addition, alteration, etc. To the extent of capitalization to the said immovable property, credit is not allowed. So it means that to the extent it is not capitalized as an immovable property, so you may debit to the not to the that what I said, that you may be incurring a repair, major repair expenses, and you may be expensing out for a period of 3 years. Okay, again after 3 years you are going to incur that expenditure. But if you are not capitalizing this to said immovable property, then there is no restriction as such, and the credit of the same shall be allowed, even if you have debited to balance sheet to the asset account not as an immovable property. But again, I'm going further. There is one judgment of Safari Retreat given by Odisha High Court in the year 2018. But again, this judgment is pending before Supreme Court because department has gone against this judgment to the Supreme Court. We are waiting for the Supreme Court to give judgment of the same. But here the fact was the Safari Retreat was constructing a mall which 100% they are going to give on lease. So department said that credit is not allowed. But ultimately, Odisha High Court, I'm not going into detailing what he has said, but ultimately, Odisha High Court has said the judgment that it is leasing is forming part of the definition of supply covered under Section 7. And this work contract service is used for further supply of service of renting. And as per Article 14 of the Constitution, it is violative not to give credit. And hence, the credit of construction of mall, which is going to be capitalized as an immovable property in the balance sheet of the builder, which he is going to give on lease, the credit of the same is allowed. So going by this judgment, in my view, the hotel is also into the business of leasing of room rent, room to various customers. So if hotel is ready, your client is ready, you can take the risk and you can giving all the caution, giving all these things to your customer and let him take a call whether he want to take credit or not. But in my view, it is a good chance to take the credit and it should be allowed. Next is customer paid advance at the time of booking, later on cancelled, whether GST is payable on cancellation. To take an example, at the time of booking, I paid 7,000 rupees for the room. Once cancellation has been done, then he has deducted 2,000 rupees and given back me 5,000 rupees. So on this 2,000 rupees, what I've earned, whether GST shall be leviable on the same. Yes or no? So most of you are saying GST is leviable on this 2,000 rupees also. Now let me put differently. I have charged 7,000 rupees. Arpit Khandelwal is saying, yes, it is tolerance of an act and that's why it is taxable. What is tolerance of an act? I have entered into an agreement to tolerate something and for that I am getting some money. So while doing a booking, whether hotel is entered into a contract of tolerating something, what is the principle? What is the principle, supplier? Customer, hotel as well as the customer both are interested in hotel accommodation, staying in a hotel. I'm just giving my view and my perspective on this. So hotel is charged 7,000 rupees. On that, 12% GST already paid by the hotel. Later on, maybe for any reason, maybe because of lockdown or any reason, that booking has been cancelled. So again, the hotel will issue a credit note. Yes, Abhishek Malpani has given hotel will issue credit note with less amount with GST. So he will issue not the credit note of 7,000. He will issue the credit note of only 5,000 and on that 5,000 पे जो GST है 12% वो उस पे लगाएगा. So already effectively 2,000 rupees पे तो GST में already भर चुका हूँ under the hotel accommodation service. And again, hotel is not providing a separate supply, in my view, of tolerance of this 2,000 rupees. So, hence, in my view, this 2,000 separately, no GST shall be leviable. It will go to 12%. only, not at 18% because it is not a separate supply altogether. So we'll move to next. Now we are moving to the restaurant and banquet industry. As far as restaurant is concerned, it can be bifurcated into various buckets. The standalone restaurant not located in the premises having residential or lodging facility. Then with effect from 14 November 2017, it will be chargeable at the rate of 5%. Again, the composition is also available as far as the restaurant service is concerned. But once you go to the composition, then there is a restriction of 1.5 crore turnover. Then you can't charge GST to the customer because it will be inclusive of GST, and the credit for the same is not allowed. And every year in the month of March, you have to file and you have to opt for the composition scheme. So in my personal view, it is not advisable for any standalone restaurant, even though if its turnover is less than 1.5 crore, to go for composition scheme, because whether you are in composition or otherwise, GST rate is 5% and no ITC. But in case of normal scheme, you are able to charge that 5% to your customer. So given an option, I will prefer not to go in composition, but again, it is up to the restaurant to go for composition or not. So I'm not discussing here the composition, but the standalone restaurant without residential or lodging facility, 5%, no ITC. Again, restaurant located in the premises having residential or lodging facility, having declared tariff of any unit less than 7,500 per unit per day, then again it will be 5%, no ITC. To take an example, there is a hotel which is providing accommodation service also and having a restaurant also. So at the time of Christmas, that is 25th December to 31st December, they are having a declared tariff of 8,000 rupees. For a single room, that is their expensive suite room per day, per night, per night is 8,000 rupees. That is the declared tariff. But due to any reason, maybe Corona or any reason, all the room he has sold for less than 7,500 for throughout the year. So what GST rate shall be applicable for the restaurant which is situated in this premises? 5% or 8%? You can write in the chat box. Only one comment I have received. Sachinji has written 18%. Rahul also written 18%. Because as far as the hotel accommodation is concerned, we have to pay tax rate, select tax rate as per the transaction value. But as far as the restaurants are concerned, it is saying that declared tariffs, you can see the word declared. So it is not onto the transaction value. At the hotel accommodation, it is transaction, but for selecting the rate of the restaurant, GST rate, it is declared. So even if the declared tariff is 8,000, even though the room has not been sold at 8,000, less than 7,500 throughout the year, not a single day, then also GST will be applicable 18%, because restaurant, etc., located in the premises having residential lodging facility having declared tariff of any unit equal to or more than 7,000 per day, then it will be 18% and ITC shall be available. Again, there may be a challenge that I'm extending my further this example. So declared tariff throughout the year मेरा 7,000 ही है. But Christmas वाला जो week था 25th से 31st के बीच में, or even if you see that now the IPL is going on, and if you go to any 5-star hotel in Bombay, the room rent is starting with 15,000, 20,000. Such kind of rooms rate are there because rooms are not available for any reason. So even though my declared tariff is 7,500, but I've charged 8,000, 10,000 rupees for a single room in that period, then what will happen? 5%, 18%. So it will be 18%. Nandesh ji, Hardik ji, all have said 18%. Parth, Deepak ji, Deepika. But again, the question here is, from April till 25th December, 24th December, I've charged only 5% to my customer because I have no intention to charge more than 7,500 during the year. And later on, it is above 7,500. So this 18% I have to pay from April or from the day on which I am crossing this 7,500. Sachin ji, Parth, day of crossing they are saying. But again, the law is not clear on this. It is very much silent. Logically, what you are saying is correct, but department may argue that it says that 7,500 per unit per day. So even though in a single day you have charged, so since beginning of the year you have to pay GST at the rate of 18% for your restaurant sales. So then again you are carrying a big risk in this kind of scenario. Another question may be, Malpani ji, I agree with you that you can't pay retrospectively at 18%. That's what I'm saying. Logically, what you are saying is it should be from the date of crossing that 7,500. But again, department may come and they may not agree, and then again the litigation will start. So it is always better if you have a hotel client that you should, restaurant client which is in the hotel premises, that you should make clear to them that this may be a possibility. So now we move ahead. In case of outdoor catering, now with effect from October 19, it is 5% without ITC. Outdoor catering when the premises or hotel declared tariff of any unit above 7,500 per day, again 18% with ITC. Otherwise, it is 5%. Outdoor catering services other than above, it is 5%. And they say that this rate are mandatory and not optional in nature. In the canteen also, etc., 5% without ITC is there, and then IRCTC, what service they are providing in a train is also at the rate of 5%. So catering services at canteen, mess, cafeteria or dining space of school, college, hospital, office, etc., it will be 5% without ITC. Exhibition hall, event, conferences, marriage hall, etc., which are occasional in nature, it will be 18% subject to that hotel accommodation of 5%. And in case of IRCTC, that what I was discussing, that where the service is also there, then it will be up to 26 July, it was 18%. Then 26 July 2018, it was 5% without ITC. But many times canteen wala is IRCTC canteen wala is also selling only the goods like Pepsi or Thumbs Up he may be selling, or maybe Fruity is selling. then it's not a service. And in my view, whatever the rate of that goods will be applicable, GST shall be payable on the same, not in the catering service. The place of supply in case of restaurant and catering is location where the services are actually performed. So it is very clear. So I'm not going into detailing of the same. Some issues in respect of restaurant. Many times you have seen that in case of pub or various restaurant, they are charging cover charges. So they are saying that you once you come, you pay 1,000 rupees and then you can encash that 10,000 rupees against any food or beverages. So again, as far as the liquor are concerned, which is not covered in GST, and anything other than liquor has been served in restaurant, maybe at the rate of 5% or maybe at the rate of 18%, which is fixed. So what will happen in case of cover charge? GST applicable or VAT applicable? What will applicable? Again, I just want to mention here is that once you go to the definition of composite supply says that taxable of two or more goods or services. In case of mixed supply, the word taxable is missing. So it means if one good or service is not taxable, then it may not fit into the definition of composite supply and it will be then mixed supply. So it is advisable that wherever the restaurant are recovering cover charges, if they can mention that it is only toward the other than liquor, then definitely they can fall under 5 or 18% as the case may be, we have already discussed. Otherwise, it may be possible that VAT department will levy VAT as far as the liquor is concerned, and GST department will say it is a mixed supply, the higher rate of tax, that is 5%, will be applicable. Anirudh Sonpal has said that the cess will be applicable on cold drink supplied as part of buffet. So whatever cold drink you are supplying as part of buffet, so if you are serving, then it will be under 5%. If you are selling, and if you are not, if it is a part of buffet, then it is not, you are not selling that, it is part of service. So separate will not be applicable on this. Then renting of premises, 5%, no ITC, whatever renting has been paid by the restaurant, because we have seen most of the restaurant, especially in Mumbai, Pune, etc., in bigger cities are on the rented premises. ITC will not be available to them if they are into 5%. Conducting license also, GST shall be leviable at the 18%, and again, credit will not be available. Renting during COVID-19, because we have seen that many restaurants were closed, and some, in many cases, the owner has charged renting fees also. So on that, GST shall be leviable. Even if he has not charged renting and he has waived off, then also I am having a view that GST shall be leviable by the owner. The reason being is that in the case of renting, what is the service? Is allowing any person to use that premises which you have given that right to that person on the day one once you hand over that possession of that premises to him. Only as far as the GST law is saying, because it is a continuous supply of service. And in case of continuous supply of service, it says that when the GST, you are liable to receive the money, that time you are liable to pay the GST, because the payment of GST has been deferred. And in this case, the service has been supplied by the owner of the premises to the restaurant owner. So GST shall be leviable even if no rent has been paid. Again, many brands are charging franchisee fees to their franchisee. GST at the rate of 18% shall be leviable, and that franchisee may be charging GST at the rate of 5% to the customer. Credit of the same shall not be available to them. It will be cost. Supply of liquor already I discussed. Then again, we have ice cream parlor, sweet shop, etc. So again, sweet may be taxable at 18%. Ice cream again taxable at a different rate. So whether it will fall under restaurant supply or whether it will fall under sale of ice cream or sale of sweets. You can write in the chat box. So Hiralalji and many of you have written that is sale of item. Again, it's a big debatable question. Because once you go to the natural, I'm just giving an example here for our better understanding. They are serving the ice cream within the premises. They're having a sitting space. So there is a service of ice cream. If you go to Tiwari Brothers, situated at Opera House, there also they are serving the food items or samosa, etc. in their premises. So then it's become a service, and service will be taxable at 5%. But many times you are taking a half kg, 1 kg ice cream, or maybe taking half kg, 1 kg sweets from a Tiwari Brothers, then it will be a sale of that item. And case to case basis, both tax rate may be applicable on the within the same premises. That's what you have to take you have to guide to your client. Now moving to tour operator. So I have covered restaurant, I have covered hotel, which are the two major segment as far as this hospitality industry is concerned. But we may be more interacting with the tour operator for our regular bookings. So starting with tour operator also providing various kind of services, starting with the air travel agent who help you to in booking of ticket. In that scenario, there are three parties are involved. One is airline. So airline appoint air travel agent to sell ticket, and they are involved in the transportation of passenger. Air travel agent is sale of the air ticket for airlines and book ticket for the passenger. This service is what he is providing. And passenger is traveling from one place to another and approach air travel to book ticket. So these are the three different parties involved in this, and they are entering into a transaction. So again, what will be the GST on this transaction? Again, air travel agent is working on various models. I have seen that many air travel agent, what they are doing, they are acting as a principal to principal basis. So they may be doing a booking at X price and selling at Y price to the customer. So then they are acting as a principal. And in my view, once they are acting as a principal, then they are supplying not services of air travel agent, they are supplying the services of transportation of passenger by air. So whatever may be the GST rate, that is 5% or 12% as the case may be applicable for air travel transportation of passenger by air, the same rate will be applicable to the travel agent, and he can be in a position to take the credit of whatever GST has been charged by the airline, subject to the condition that the airline invoice should contain GST number of the air travel agent. And again, if principal to principal you are going, then again you have a risk of that GSTR 2B. If the airline has not filed GSTR 2-1 on time, or maybe delayed for 2 days or 1 day, then the credit will be available in the next month, but the liability of the air travel agent will be in the same month. And in this case, the margin will be very, very, very thin. So you may take 1 year or 1.5 years to recover that extra GST what you have paid because of delay of filing of 2B. So that risk you have to see. Another risk is once you are saying that principal to principal basis. So if anything can happen to aircraft, maybe hijacked, maybe crashed, anything, or maybe the bag is stolen during the travel, then once you are saying you are providing the transportation service of passenger, all risk and reward will be yours instead of airline. So that is what the call air travel agent has to see. Another is he may be working on a commission, PLB, upload incentive, various forms of incentives they are getting from the airline. So whatever commission, PLB, etc. they are charging, the GST at the rate of 18% shall be payable on the commission. And many times we have seen that they are charging 200 rupees, 250 rupees booking fees, or maybe in some service fees from the customer. On that also GST at the rate of 18% shall be leviable as an air travel agent. Another option given to air travel agent is on the basic fare. What is basic fare means that part of the airfare on which the commission is normally paid by the air travel agent, paid to the air travel agent by the airline. So in ticket, we have seen many times that they are showing fuel surcharge, they are showing basic fare, etc., etc., etc. So there may be in their terminology, but as far as GST is concerned, basic fare will include on which the commission, normally commission is paid by the airline. So commission is paid on the basic fare as well as fuel surcharge, etc. By the airline. So that fuel surcharge will also to be included in calculating the basic fare. And in case of domestic booking, it says that GST at the rate of the 5% of the basic fare, you have to pay 18%. So suppose the basic fare is 100 rupees, then it will presume that 5% is your service amount, and on that service amount, 18% you have to pay in case of domestic ticket. In case of international booking, basic fare ka 10% you have to pay 18%. So that is what GST you have to pay as far as air travel agent is concerned. So which model he has to go, whether the commission model or whether to basic fare model, he has to see that what is his profit markup, etc. If it is more than 5% on domestic ticket, then definitely he should go for basic fare model. Otherwise, it will be commission model. So commercially, he has to take a call. And case to case basis also, he can take a call. If not necessary that any option he has opted at the beginning of the year, he has to follow entire year. But again, once you are going on case to case basis, your account should be very, very, very proper to say which transaction is in basic fare and which transaction is on commission model. So to prove before the authority, again, it will be difficult, but it is not impossible. Principal to principal, already I have discussed the issue, so I'm not going into this. Again, the place of supply in case of air travel agent is a taxable, air travel agent is a taxable supplier. Suppose he's supplying, giving a service to maybe a GMJN company, which is a taxable recipient of service because I am traveling from Bombay to Delhi for the purpose of my business. Then it is a taxable service recipient. So the location of GMJN company will be the place of supply. Many times, air travel agent giving a service to a non-taxable recipient, to individual person who is not registered under GST. Again, in that case, two possibilities are there. If the place of supply of service recipient is available, then his location will be the place of supply. Many times a walk-in customer drop in into the agent office, he make the payment of fees, ticket, and take the ticket from him. So in that scenario, the location of the recipient is not available, address of the recipient is not available to the air travel agent. Then the location of the air travel agent will be the place of supply. Then again, agent is acting as an intermediary, because if he is getting a commission, if he is supplying a service from outside India to outside India, or maybe a foreign airline and getting commission in India, then he is acting as an intermediary. So GST shall be payable in India. In case of air travel agent, many travel agent is working as a sub-agent. So whatever we have discussed in case of agent, same thing will be applied as far as the place of supply is concerned, as far as the taxability is concerned, whether basic fare, commission model, principal to principal, whatever is available, applicable to sub-agent also. Now moving to another segment of rent-a-cab service. So rent-a-cab service also, you are hiring service cab from another person and getting commission from him for this. So whatever commission, if he is getting GST at the rate of 18%. Again, he may be net cost or markup basis. So maybe GST, he himself is owning the car, or he buying the car from another operator and giving to the customer. Then GST at the rate of 5% on full value of invoice, including value of fuel. ITC will not be applicable, only ITC if he is buying, taking a car from another rent-a-cab operator. Then whatever another rent-a-cab operator has charged, credit is available. Another option is GST at the rate of 12% on the full value of invoice is also available to him. And in this case, full ITC is allowed. So ITC in case of purchase of even the car will also be allowed. In case of 5%, it is not allowed. And sometimes we have seen that Zoom car and etc. is giving car without fuel. In that case, GST at the rate of 12% shall be applicable with ITC. The full ITC will be allowed. Now going to place of supply for passenger transportation, which will include transportation of passenger by air, transportation of passenger by road, transportation of passenger by train, or anything. So maybe by renting of cab, etc. So if the location of the supplier and recipient both are in India and service receiver is registered, then location of service receiver. So if GMJ company is registered in Maharashtra, is hiring a car from Delhi to Chandigarh from a tour operator who is in Haryana. So now in this scenario, the car is running between Delhi and Chandigarh, or maybe some part of Punjab, or maybe some part of Haryana. Operator is in Haryana, and I am starting my journey from Delhi. So what will be the place of supply? So you can write in a chat box. Amisha Dave has written Maharashtra. Rahul Dung, Maharashtra. Yes, said Supplier. Okay. So if the service receiver is registered in this scenario, the location of service receiver shall be the place of supply. So it means GMJ company who is using this car, the place of supply shall be Maharashtra, even if I'm starting my journey from Delhi, ending my journey at Chandigarh. Location of supplier is Haryana. I'm moving between Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, or Chandigarh. These four places. Then also the place of supply shall be only and only Maharashtra, because I am a registered receiver. Another possibility is, suppose I am traveling in my individual capacity. Recipient is not GMJ company. Now the recipient is Manish Gadia. In that case, since I am not registered, the place where the passenger embarks on a conveyance for a continuous journey. So he is embarking from Delhi. The place of supply shall be Delhi, even if the cab operator is from Haryana. Another is that if location of supplier or recipient of service is outside India. So maybe the aircraft operator is situated outside India, customer is of India, or maybe airline is providing transportation of passenger service to a foreign customer. In that scenario, the place where the passenger embark on a conveyance for a continuous journey shall be the place of supply. Now again going to tour operator. Tour operator, again, we have various possibility. So he is buying a tour from another tour operator, or maybe he is making a tour, but what he is doing is giving direct total bill to you, transportation, rent a cab operator bill to you directly, and charging his commission from the supplier, or maybe charging some fees to you or service charge to the customer. In that scenario, 18% on whatever commission earned and 18% of whatever service charge from the client. He will pay GST at that rate. Another is he may be selling tour on principal to principal. So he may be buying hotel, like if you go to Veena Travel, if you go to Kesari Tours, any of this tour, they are just selling their own package from Himachal package or maybe Kerala package, something. So if it will be include hotel accommodation as well as transportation, two elements are there, then he can charge GST at the rate of 5%, and no ITC of the hotel accommodation, rent a cab operator, nothing will be available to him, no food, nothing, no ITC will be available to him. Another is he can charge because there is no compulsion given as far as the 5% is concerned, because 5% is with the condition that ITC is not available. So if I want to take the ITC of hotel, I want to take ITC, tour operator want to take ITC of rent a cab operator, food also, because my package also includes food, then he can charge GST at the rate of 18% on the whole value. Now the question here is, can the tour operator will get the credit of food or beverages what he is giving to his customer? You can write in a chat box, yes or no. If he is charging 18% to the customer, where it says with ITC, so food का credit मिलेगा क्या? सचिन जी ने, कृष्ण कुमार गुप्ता जी ने कहा yes, Rahul yes, Yash Rathod no, Karuna Ahuja yes, Siddharth yes, Gitesh yes. So once you go to section 17.5 block credit, it says that if food credit is not allowed, but if it is forming part of composite supply or mixed supply, then ITC is available. And the food is forming part of composite supply of tour operator, hence the credit of the same is available to him. And in my view, the 5% is optional as far as the tour operator is concerned. So he can take. As far as the restaurant is concerned, there they have given that 5% is not optional, it is mandatory. But in case of tour operator, no such wordings has been given. So he can opt for 18% even if the transportation is included. Many times you approach tour operator only for booking of your hotel rooms. Then that 5% is not available to him. He has to pay 18% because for 5% condition, hotel accommodation as well as transportation, these two things has to be there. And in case of 5%, tour operator to tour operator, again credit will be available. If I am a ABC tour operator and taking a package from Thomas Cook, so whatever 5% Thomas Cook is charging to me, I am charging 5% to the customer. So credit of Thomas Cook is available to me because operator to operator credit 5% may available. Again, I am having less time, so I will rush up little bit about inbound tour and outbound tour. So in case of inbound tour means a foreign passenger is coming to, foreign customer is coming to India to have visit in India. So of course, one leg is foreigner and supplier is Indian. So two services provided to the place of where the service has been performed shall be the place of supply. So suppose if he is coming Agra, then the place of supply shall be UP. But it may be possible that the foreign customer will come. So he will not go only to Agra, but he will go to Delhi also, he will go to Jaipur also. That is golden triangle, what the tour operators generally say. So he will come to 3 different states. And the loss is the place of supply in this scenario will be the where the service has been performed. Service has been performed in our cases in UP, Delhi, as well as Jaipur, 3 states. So in this scenario, the loss is the place of supply. It is advisable that instead of charging 1 lakh single amount, you charge 3 different amounts, saying that maybe 35,000 for Jaipur, 30,000 for Delhi, and 35,000 for Agra, and pay tax accordingly. 3 different place of supply on a single invoice. Again, 3 different place of supply. The GST one is accepting or not. Again, I have my own doubt. So you see to it, but this is the challenge as far as the inbound tour is concerned. Hence, I have covered this. Again, tour operator is India and the Indian service receiver. In this scenario, okay, outbound tour. So in case of outbound tour, the tour operator is supplying services to Indian customer who is going to US or maybe any country outside India. So whatever tour operator is charging to the Indian customer, the place of supply shall be the recipient of service, where the location of the recipient shall be the place of supply. Now again here, generally in case of tour operator, the package tour we are offering, they are offering, main 3 cost elements are there. One is air ticket, another is rent a cab service, and a third is hotel accommodation service. These are the 3 major elements. And if you see, so this cost, if he's paying at 5%, then credit of the same is not available to him. So wherever he is advertising as a package, inclusive of all this, he has to go in 5% or 18% as the case may be. But wherever he is not advertising as a package tour, he may break the tour and he say that I have sold the ticket on day 1 for air ticket, and accordingly as an air travel agent, he will pay the GST. He will say on day 3, I have sold the sightseeing, or that is the rent a cab service from various places. So accordingly, he will take the services of another rent a cab operator in that premises, that place, charge 5% to the customer and take the credit of the same, because operator, rent a cab operator to rent a cab operator, credit is available. As far as hotel accommodation is concerned, again, a planning aspect, we can see that suppose hotel is in state A and the tour operator is in state B, and GMJ and company who is availing the services of hotel accommodation is in state C. So as far as the hotel is concerned, hotel place of supply will be the location of the hotel. The credit of the same shall not be available to state operator who is in state B. And for state B, tour operator to the customer, GMJ and company, the place of supply will be the location of the customer, that is state C. So he will charge IGST to me, but he can't take the credit of hotel and he can't pass on to me, and that will be the major cost as far as this tour operator is concerned, as far as the customer is concerned. So I do not know any tour operator in state A So what I will do, I booked through state B tour operator. State B tour operator will approach the tour operator of state A. So the hotel will bill to the tour operator who is in the same state. The location of hotel is in the same state. The credit will be available to the tour operator who is in state A. And he will charge IGST to the state B operator and pass on the entire credit of hotel accommodation from state A to state B. And then in this scenario, the GMJ can also be in a position to take the credit of hotel accommodation also. So that's what you can suggest to your client who is having into the business of marketing, and they are having a major expenditure of transport, hotel accommodation. So this kind of planning can be done. So today, whatever I discussed was my opinions or views, and opinions or views are like wristwatches. Every watch shows different time from others, but everyone believes that their time is right. So I'm not completing my, I have completed my presentation, but definitely I will take the question answer now, whatever you have posted in a question answer section. Once again, I thank WIRC and entire team of Chairman Murtuza Kachwala, Yashwant Kasar, as well as Gautam Lat and Shweta Madam for giving me this opportunity. I am generally sharing GST updates. Those who are interested can save my name and send me your name, your city on my mobile number 9820537986. I will add you in my broadcast list, or you can follow me on a Twitter. And my Twitter handle is Manish Gadia _GST. So now we'll move to question answer. So Vishnu ji, question ले लें? Vishnu ji, you are on mute.
हाँ सर, बिल्कुल क्वेश्चन ले लेते हैं. मैं तो वैसे भी आपसे ही क्वेश्चन पूछता रहता हूँ.
तो सबसे पहला राजेश दलाल जी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, if SSC is running a private hostel and collect from the student's residence stay charges as well as out of pocket expenses like laundry charges, food charges, electricity charges, etc. So in standardized manner, not available per student, will be charged as composite service or as separate service, and will out of pocket. So you have to see the Rajesh ji, what is your transaction is. If you are charging a single pricing and bifurcating only, and you are charging whether he has used, whether he has not used, then in my view it will fall in composite supply, and accordingly the GST shall be leviable. And as far as hostel is concerned, 1,000 rupees per day per night, मतलब 30,000 रुपए के नीचे अगर आपका है, so you may end up not to pay any GST on the same. So there is a single pricing, but you disclose separately. So in my view, it will fall under composite supply and it will go in hotel accommodation. So मतलब अगर मैंने लॉन्ड्री में दिया या नहीं दिया तो भी मुझे उतना पैसा देना ही है. That is what the single pricing what we say, or composite supply we say. So I hope I have answered your query. Here another question has been given by whom name is not there. So whatever questions are there, you can write in a question answer section only, not in a chat box. Again, I am requesting participants. It would be helpful if more time can be devoted to a topic of the session. And okay. Will the presentation be shared for future reference? Of course, Vidhi, I will share this with WIRC by tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow session or next session, they will share with the participants. Parth Shah, in case of cruise, if it is treated as hotel accommodation, again, as I said, both the views possible, but in my personal view, it should be hotel accommodation. Then on what basis will the POS will be decided? It may be not. See, POS specifically, they have mentioned that होटल accommodation के साथ में ही उसने हाउस बोट बोट वेसल सब उसमें ही मेंशन किया है. So whether you treat this as transportation service or whether you treat this hotel accommodation service, but place of supply will be the hotel accommodation के साथ ही चलेगा. And as I said, the cruise is moving between Bombay, Goa. Then artificially you have to bifurcate, and accordingly you have to pay the tax at both the places. How to decide place of supply in case of membership fees for hotel wherein properties are located in different states. As far as the membership fees is concerned, if you are supplying service to the registered recipient, then the location of the recipient shall be the place of supply. So the credit shall be available to the recipient. Parji, I have replied. Rajesh Dalalji, if I purchase a new flat and give it on rent to corporate, can input tax credit be claim of ITC or GST paid to the builder? I have already discussed this while answering the restaurant or answering the hotel, and given the Safari Retreat Odisha High Court judgment. So answer will be same in this scenario. Hitesh Bhai has asked, please clarify the manner of declaration of hotel day rate, whether the hotel has to report it to the GST authority upfront. No. Many hotels are having their own website. उसके ऊपर अगर उसने कोई declared tariff दिखाया है तो that will be the declared tariff. होटल के रिसेप्शन के ऊपर वो लिख के रखते हैं कि ये मेरा tariff rate है, so that will be a declared tariff. It's again a case to case basis, very difficult to say. And Hitesh bhai, many cases में तो हमने देखा है कि होटल का रेट 7,000 रुपया है, but if you are going to booking.com, I'm just taking artificial name, hypothetical name, तो उसमें उसने 8,000 दिखाया हुआ है, but actually hotel is getting 7,000 और उसका declared tariff भी 7,000 है. So again, it will be a difficult for a hotel to substantiate later on for restaurant services. Then can the restaurant which is present in the hotel premises take a separate GST number? Any charges 5% without claiming ITC, irrespective of whether the hotel declared room charges is above 7,500. So in my view, you can take a different registration for different segment also. But again, दो registration भी होगा या single भी होगा, again there may be some common services, some common staff may be there, common चीज रहेगी आपकी, तो again that challenge will be there of ITC, of bifurcation. So better to have a single registration and then follow rule 42. That will be easier. That is what my experience is. But again, your call on this. Rahul ji is asking, please bill on taxability of service charge on restaurant bill. So whatever service charge they are charging, in my view, not 18% at the rate of 5%, or as the case of 18% in case of a hotel accommodation where their declared tariff is more than 7,500. But in case of standalone restaurant, on service charges also GST shall be leviable at the 5% only. That is what the view I am holding, and most of the restaurants are paying at 5% only. Parth bhai is asking, is company liable to charge GST on canteen charges recovered from employees? So again, in my view, I will share my view. Different views are of course possible, but once you are recovering canteen charges or food charges from the employee, so if it is forming part of your CTC many times, because you are not giving at the normal price, but you are giving at very subsidized price. And if it is forming part of CTC, then in my view, GST shall not be leviable on the same. But different views are possible on this. and depending on transaction to transaction, whether forming part of CTC or not.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट मनीष सर, मेरे को इसमें एक छोटा सा डाउट था. इफ जो कंपनी है, जो होटल कंपनी है, वही अपने स्टाफ को अगर फ्री कैंटीन सर्विस देती है, इन दैट केस व्हाट विल बी द सीक्वेंसेस? मतलब उसको इनपुट भी लेनी है क्योंकि वो होटल सर्विस दे रही है, और उसी केस में उसको वहां पे वो अपने स्टाफ को कैंटीन में फ्री खाना भी दे रही है.
If that is forming part of CTC, so मेरे हिसाब से उस पर कोई भी GST एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता है.
पर सर वो अगर एग्जेम्प्टेड हो गया, मतलब सर्विस टैक्सेबल नहीं है, तो फिर उसके ऊपर जो रिवर्सल चार्ज नहीं डालना पड़ेगा?
रिवर्सल वगैरह नहीं, रिवर्सेबल नहीं आएगा. देन इट इज नॉट एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई ऑल्सो, नॉट एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई ऑल्सो ना, बिकॉज ये आपका ऑब्लिगेशन है. आपका जो उसका जो फीस आपने CTC नक्की किया है, उसमें आपको फूड भी देना है ना, इसके लिए. धवल जी ने पूछा है, सर GST is applicable on franchisee deposit collected. Any refundable deposit collected will not form part of consideration. Kindly refer the definition of consideration. And if that franchisee deposit fees what you have received is not refundable, then GST shall be leviable on the same. Pallavi madam is asking if if I book accommodation in Delhi, I will got credit of Delhi CGST, SGST in Maharashtra as place of supply is Delhi. No, you can't get. But the way you can get already booking, doing a booking through a tour operator who is situated in Delhi, you can take that. That's what I have already given as a planning aspect. Then Amisha madam is asking, a person providing services to students to take them to cultural tour in different countries and they book air ticket, hotel, etc. Does it fall under tour operator service? Of course, it will fall under tour operator service, and accordingly GST shall be leviable. So tour does not include any the leisure tour, any sports tour, cultural tour, medical tour, educational tour, or all this kind of tour are falling under the tour operator service. Pallavi madam is asking, if I book accommodation, will got, yeah, already I have answered. If I book hotel through a tour operator in Maharashtra, so already I discussed, Pallavi madam. So Anirudh ji has asked, in case of membership collected by HO, in case of membership collected by HO at Mumbai and allows stay at different places, already Anirudh bhai, I have already answered, it will be treated as membership fees, and membership fees is if the customer is registered, then location of the recipient of service. Sir, where the hotel, Yash is asking, sir, where the hotel bill is in the name of the client directly, then the client will know the price at which the tour operator purchases it from, how to get. See, as far as GST is concerned, your business should be transparent. And if hotel is raising invoice in the name of customer, then tour operator cannot have any option to hide his margin. Please cover taxation of AP and EP, etc. Breakup restaurant and accommodation. So many times what happened is restaurant are selling with bed and breakfast and bed, breakfast and dinner. So that is what AP, EP plan, what we call it. So in this kind of scenario, if it is a fixed price, so it will fall under hotel accommodation, but he is giving an option to the customer that room price is only 7,000 rupees, breakfast 1,000 rupees, dinner is 2,000 rupees, and it is optional for the customer to choose anyone. Then it will go in 5%, or otherwise, if he is charging more than 7,500, inclusive of all these three, then it will fall, entire will fall under 18%.
Already answered.
booking say 50% from red bus etc. and 5% 50% own counter or at own booking office. Now e-tour operator are required to pay GST themselves. Please guide. So Sachin ji, I presume that red bus, you are presuming that e-commerce operator. But again, you have to see that whether red bus is e-commerce operator or is a agent, booking agent. That what you have to see, because Make My Trip and others are not operating as an e-commerce operator for booking of ticket or hotel. They are acting as an agent and they are having their own portal also. So it's depend if they are not acting, red bus is not acting, because I do not know how red bus is operating, but if red bus is not acting as an e-commerce operator, then travel agent के जैसे होगा. अगर e-commerce operator के जैसे work कर रहे हैं तो then TCS and etc will be applicable on the same. Vishal Kumar Singh is asking, can tour operator charge GST only on his service fees and cost and can collect as a pure agent? Of course, but the bill of the supplier should be in the name of the customer and there should not be any hidden margin on the same. Then he can act as a pure agent. Ashish ji asking, Mumbai-based hotel has advertised its contents on the hoarding at mall situated at Delhi. Whether mall should levy CGST, IGST or IGST. So as far as advertisement service is concerned, it will fall under the recipient-based criteria and mall will charge GST at the rate of place of supply, Mumbai. Then sir, please explain the slide again in which IGST available to hotel booking to customer outside that state. Okay. So suppose GMJ and company is situated in Bombay, want to book a hotel in Bombay, the hotel in Delhi. So directly hotel will charge CGST, SGST, I will not get the credit. What I will do, I will approach one tour operator who is situated in Delhi and who will do the booking for me for hotel in Delhi. Hotel in Delhi will book agent who is in Delhi. Hotel will charge CGST, SGST because it is intra-state supply for the hotel. And since it is raised on the tour operator and tour operator is charging me full amount, including the hotel accommodation, so he will take the credit of whatever the hotel has provided to him. And he will pass on that credit to me as IGST, because as far as tour operator service is concerned, if they are supplying service to a recipient who is registered, it will be IGST supply, interstate supply. The credit of the same will be available to me. During department audit section 65, if now raise query cross charge can now be charged any value received liable. So I request participants to restrict their queries only to the extent of the topic. So maybe you can ask this query to another speaker. In case of room plan, there should this be treated as composite supply or food charges separately? So if depend on Anirudh bhai, depend on your transaction to transaction, so it may be treated as if, as I already said, if you are not giving option and you are saying that it is inclusive of everything, then of course it will go in hotel accommodation. But if it is option to the customer and whatever he choose, so he may charge at 5% also. So thank you very much once again for giving me this opportunity, and I have covered all the questions what has been asked. So thank you very much. Over to you, Vishnu ji.
Thank you, Manish sir. Personally, तो मैं आपको thank you बोलना चाहता हूँ because I started my own practice in 2017 only when GST came in the picture, and lot of maybe I don't know whether you know me personally or no, but I called you so many times, I bothered you so many times for that queries which I query arise when I was doing audit and GST working. So thank you ICI to giving me that opportunity to thanking you at this time. The topic which is covered here was very vast and मतलब काफी कुछ समझने जैसा था. मेरे को काफी सारे डाउट थे जो यहाँ पे क्लियर हुए. आई थिंक पार्टिसिपेंट्स को भी इस चीज का बहुत फायदा हुआ होगा. So thank you, Manish sir.
Of course, it's my pleasure, and I always believe Vishnuji in sharing of knowledge. So any participants, if feel any question is there, anytime he can approach me, he can ask me. So it will be my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.